In 2013, my dad and I moved from Cape Town, South Africa to Nigeria, and it was great. I caught malaria. Going to Nigeria was my first time ever traveling to another country, my first time taking a plane, first time getting jet lag, first time fearing for my life when the plane was gonna land. But I still had fun. We landed in Lagos and I immediately wanted to go home because the weather that day was disgusting. It was ridiculously hot and humid, the worst weather combination. But whatever, the sun's about to set, nighttime will soon be among us, and I'm extremely jet lagged, so a good night's sleep would do ridiculously well right now. Ah! Lagos was fun. I was staying at my dad's friend's place and it was sick. They had cable, a big yard, great food. The kids there were really chill. They were like the cool cousins I never had and will have. I remember them letting me play Mortal Kombat on their flip phones and letting me throw firecrackers with them around Christmas time. Quick side note, Nigerian firecrackers are superior in every way to any other country's firecrackers. Instead of lighting a match and then failing 5 times because of wind to light a firecracker up, they would just light the firecracker itself, no match included. And to a 10-year-old me, that was the coolest thing ever. I didn't really get that many chances to leave the house, but that was mostly because we weren't gonna be in Lagos for too long, and I remember not being too happy about that. But we eventually got to our actual destination, Calabar, where we would spend the rest of our time at. I hated it, at least at the beginning. I kinda just accepted it after a month. But man, it was hot, it was humid, the food was too spicy, the roads were sand, the uniform looked goofy, there was no electricity, no Wi-Fi, no cable, no car, no air, no water, no water. And even without all that, I still loved every single moment I spent there. I know many African countries to this day still don't have the basic necessities we all take for granted. There are real problems in almost every African country, some more severe than others. But one thing that is always the common factor is the people, who throughout all the problems can smile, laugh, and find joy in their situation. But on the other hand, you have people like me, a professional snake and hater. I just want to see things burn. When arriving in Nigeria, the biggest culture shock I had was the language. And I know you might think, wait a minute, don't Nigerians speak English? Which is kinda true, but also kinda not. Saying Nigerians speak English is like saying Jamaicans speak English, or British people speak English, which is false because that's not English. What I'm talking about is Pidgin, a completely different language from English. It's mostly filled with Nigerian slang with a bit of English sprinkled in. And when I was in Lagos, I could understand everything. The level of Pidgin usage there was actually really low. But that wasn't the case in Calabar, where sometimes I'd be speaking to someone else and I'll go, "Hi, my name is Lukisa. What's your name?" And they'll reply, "Hello, my name na Okumba Junior the second. I live for Niger. You better not be getting into any shakara, because if you do, I will call the Elekembe on top of you, you dirty toys." What? But it was fine, it only took a couple of months to fully understand it. While living in Nigeria, it was really common to go months without electricity. This meant everybody and their mothers had to rely on generators, which was really fun and had absolutely zero downsides. But for real, screw Napa. Napa is the Nigerian electricity company. They cost me several missed episodes of Teen Titans. Fun fact, I almost died in Nigeria. In Nigeria, there are these things called manwu. They are these nightmare fuel looking things that roam the street. So imagine being an unsuspecting little 10-year-old South African city boy and you see one of these approaching you. There are actually 2 types of manwu. The ones that dance and the ones that chase people around with machetes. Guess which one I ran into?
Brother, what's that?
After a bit of living in Nigeria, one thing was abundantly clear to me. Mosquitoes own the night. Almost every single house I saw had to be built with mosquitoes in mind, whether it be mosquito nets on the gates, on the balcony, the windows, the entire bedroom. Mosquitoes were a real problem, especially in summer. And coming from Cape Town, South Africa, where you'd maybe get a maximum of 4 or 5 mosquitoes if you leave the window open for too long, I was not prepared to the level of violation these Nigerian mosquitoes would do to me. In the place we were staying, we didn't have a lot of mosquito provisions prevention, all we had was one single broken mosquito net on the balcony. So almost every night I would go to sleep and get sexually assaulted by these mosquitoes. Some days they would suck me dry and not bother my sleep at all, and other days they would make it their mission to keep me up at any means necessary. And maybe it's just me, but Nigerian mosquitoes move way faster than any of the mosquitoes I've ever seen. The only way I could survive the night is by making a shield for myself under the blanket and forcing myself to go to sleep, which worked in winter, but in summer I was actually dying every night to go to sleep. I eventually got bit enough times to get malaria, and not gonna lie, malaria is mad overrated. The way the news speaks about it, I thought I was gonna die when I got it, or at least get seriously ill. But nah, I just felt really tired for 2 weeks. Literally when I got it, I went to the shady looking pharmacy, got a medicine, took it, and was good as new. Moral of the story, to all those kids passing away of malaria every year, get absolutely ready. There's so much more stories I have from my time in Nigeria, but maybe I'll cover that some other time, if this video gets enough likes and views. I know it sounded like I complained the whole video, but honestly, Nigeria was so much fun. The reason it sounded like I complained the whole time is because I was discussing my thoughts as a 10-year-old. I'm 21 now, and the more I think back to the time I had in Nigeria, the more I want to go back so bad. Because there was a lot of things I didn't do. There was a lot of foods I didn't try out, tourist locations I didn't visit, and I would love to just meet some old friends and enjoy my time there. That's actually not all I have to say.